The 9th topic of the exam is about creating selections. Here you have to know how to work with selection tools, and then also more advanced selection techniques like color range and refine edge. And you also have to know how to edit your selections. So in this first video, I'm going to give you an overview of the whole topic, and then in the following videos, we will explore each of the tools and techniques in more detail. So first of all, it's important to know where you can find the selection tools. Well, they are here on the top of the toolbar. So we have the marquee tools, that's 4 of them. And we have the lasso tools, there are 3 of them. And then we have the automated selection tools or semi-automated selection tools like the quick selection tool and magic wand. And then we have the selection options under the select menu. Here we can find color range, for example, and refine edge or refine mask, depending on what you have selected. So if I make a selection, you can see that now it says refine edge. And if you have a mask and the mask is selected, then it will say refine mask. Also under modify, you can find quite a lot of options to change your selections. Plus, you also have transform selection here, which is quite interesting because with this, you can use transform controls like the free transform tool, but only on the selection. So in this case, it won't affect the image itself. It will only affect the selection and the marquee. So even I can hold down Command or Control to make perspective changes or distortions to my selection. And when I press Enter, I go back to a normal selection. To hide the marching ends, so if you don't want to see your selection, you can go to the View menu, and under Show, you can turn off selection edges. There's a special view to see your selection called Quick Mask, and you can access that by pressing Q. And then whatever is in red, whatever has a red overlay, that means that's outside of your selection, and whatever is visible with the normal colors, that's inside of the selection. And in this mode, in the quick mask mode, you can use the brush and the gradient tool to make changes to your selection. So for example, if I select my brush and I just make it a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to make it something like that big, I can draw over the selection with black to remove or subtract from the selection, and I can draw over it with white to add to the selection. And then when I press Q again, I can switch back, and as you can see, our quick mask changes updated the selection itself. And the quick mask has an icon here at the bottom of the toolbar, so you can always click on that also instead of just pressing Q. You can also save and load selections. First of all, to save it, you can go to the select menu and choose Save Selection. And we can choose in which document we want to save it into. We can even save it into a new document. And then we can also decide what channel we want to save it into. If I call this just shape, for example, then I can click OK. By the way, you can also set an operation. Once you have a selection saved, the next selection can be added to the previous one or subtracted from it, or intersect as well. So if I click on OK, this selection will be stored in the channels panel there at the bottom as an alpha channel. So once it's saved, I can either command click on it to bring it back, or I can also go to the select menu and choose load selection, and then you can see we have the shape option here, and we can even load it in as an inverted selection. I'm just going to load it in as a normal selection for now. And then if I go back to the layers menu, and there's an image, a layer selected with the girl. If I want, I can also save this selection as a layer mask. So that will be a pixel mask when I click on this, and it will show whatever was inside the selection and hide anything else outside of the selection. Once you create a mask, again, you can hold down Command or Control on PC and click on the mask to select the edges of the mask. Or you can also do the same on image layer thumbnails, and that will make a selection based on the edges of the layer's content. And that's all what I wanted to show you in this introduction to the topic. In the next video, I'm going to show you the basic selection tools, the marquee tools, and the lasso tools.